They say that investment bankers make the big bucks, but they're also working all the time. Consultants, they make good money too, but they're constantly having to travel. So, which of this is true and what is not? And which career path might be the best career path for you? In this video, I'm going to go through the major differences between starting a career in investment banking versus management consulting so that you could be on your way to landing your dream job. We'll cover an overview of the investment banking versus management consulting industries, skills you'll develop from working in each, career paths, exit opportunities, salary and compensation, lifestyle considerations, recruiting and interviewing. Make sure you watch till the end to get our top 5 signs that management consulting might be the right career path for you. Hi, my name is Davis. If you're joining us today, if you smash that subscribe button, every time there's a new video on how to land your dream consulting offer, you'll be the first to know. So what exactly do investment bankers and management consultants actually do besides wearing suits and looking like they're busy all the time? They're advisors for major corporations as well as government institutions. They play important but different roles in helping organizations achieve their goals as well as adapt to changing market conditions. Investment bankers provide capital raising services such as taking a company public, issuing bonds, and advising on mergers and acquisition transactions. So as a banker, you'll be involved in the financial side of your clients' businesses. While management consultants provide strategic advice to top management on various corporate business issues such as revenue growth or launching a new product, so you'll be involved with the client's strategy development as well as operations. So what skills do you actually gain when you're helping with financial transactions or making strategic recommendations? In addition, of course, to being really good at Excel spreadsheets as well as creating PowerPoint slides. In both investment banking as well as management consulting, you're going to have to make recommendations and speak with senior leadership. As a result, you're going to develop clear communication skills as well as be able to communicate your ideas in a structured manner. But the skills that you learn along the way of this will differ. Let's start with investment banking skills. You'll learn the process of executing financial transactions, such as issuing a new stock or bond, from writing a pitch to closing the deal. You will spend most of your time developing complex financial models for mergers, leveraged buyouts, and company valuation. You'll deep dive into subjects such as how much cost savings 2 companies might generate if they merge, or how much separate divisions of a company would be worth if the company was broken up and its parts sold to strategic buyers. You'll need to be proficient in PowerPoint, but you'll spend less time writing and designing slides than consultants would, and more time mastering spreadsheets. While management consultants get a broad exposure on how companies and organizations operate, they deep dive to answer questions such as, should a company enter a new market or geography? Or how can they cut costs to increase profitability? You'll develop business solving skills such as learning how to identify the root cause of a problem, analyzing data, and providing a recommendation. You will learn to take the solutions that have worked in one industry or functional area and apply it to others. You'll spend more time synthesizing ideas and communicating them to senior management so the client can adopt your solution. This means more time planning PowerPoint slides and presentations than developing Excel models. You'll also have more interactions with your team and client than in investment banking, which means that you'll grow your soft skills. Let's talk about the different career paths for an investment banker versus a management consultant. Both industries provide a lucrative as well as structured career path. However, one important distinction between investment banking and management consulting is in job security. With management consulting, you can expect a lot more job security. As a management consultant, you're less impacted by economic downturns or uncertainties than you would be if you were an investment banker. In a market downturn, companies will typically halt fundraising or even cut off their M&A work, but they'll still be open to hiring management consultants to help them with reorganization as well as cutting costs. At a high level, the hierarchy for both investment bankers as well as management consultants are very similar. You have analysts and associates who do a lot of the analysis, managers who manage the overall client work and teams, then you have directors and partners who are building, growing, and nurturing client relationships so that the firm can have more work. The timeline to reach the top levels of either industry are quite similar, typically about 10 to 15 years, assuming that you start all the way at the bottom at the analyst level and work all your way up to the top title. Specific job titles might change. For example, a certain firm might call their analysts associates and their associates analysts, but in general, you can expect the following. The investment banking career path starts with analyst. That's the position you'll take right out of undergrad. People typically spend 2 to 3 years in this position. Associate, this is the direct promotion from analyst or the role you'll take after completing an MBA program. People typically spend 3 to 4 years in this position. Vice president, people spend 3 to 4 years in this position. Director, people spend 2 to 3 years in this position. Managing director, this is the highest position. The management consulting career path starts with analyst, that's the role out of undergrad, where typical new hires will spend 2 to 3 years in this position. Associate, this is the direct promotion from analyst or the position that someone might take, for example, out of an MBA program. People typically spend 2 to 3 years in this position. Project managers, people typically spend 2 to 3 years in this position managing project teams. Associate partner, people typically spend 2 to 3 years in this position. Partner, people typically spend 3 to 5 years in this position. Senior partner, this is the highest level. By the way, if you're interested in becoming a management consultant, check out the description below or the pinned comment below. And there's a way for you to schedule a free 30-minute strategy session with my team where we'll map out everything you need to do in order to get a career in management consulting. In both investment banking as well as management consulting, the exit opportunities are often what analysts and associates dream about. Yes, joining a top firm in either industries will give you a huge stepping stone in your career, but is it better than the current job that you currently have or alternatives that you're considering? There are a lot of benefits that working in banking or consulting will provide you that oftentimes people overlook, such as having a clear path for each promotion, as well as having a high income with less volatility. When evaluating exit opportunities, you want to consider factors such as the following. Life priorities. What is most important to you? Both of these jobs are demanding. Are you willing to sacrifice time with family and friends for your job? Earning potential. How does the expected income compare to your current job or alternatives you're considering? Career path. Will your responsibilities grow over time? What skills can you learn that you can later leverage elsewhere? The typical exit opportunities for investment bankers are more finance. Investment bankers at the top firms will have direct access to further careers in finance at even more lucrative positions in private equity as well as hedge funds, where the compensation and upside are also better than in banking, where you'll both get better compensation and upside and also better lifestyle, because you're typically on the other side as the buyer now. Industry. Corporations or high-growth tech companies like to hire bankers in corporate development roles, such as leading the M&A strategy or even becoming a CFO. The typical exit opportunities for management consultants are industry. Most former consultants end up working in strategy or leadership positions in corporations, high-tech tech firms, as well as other companies. Private equity and venture capital. Some consultants do manage to make a transition to finance, while it is more challenging to do than if you were going straight out of banking, which is more challenging to do than if you were already in investment banking. For consultants, you're going to get broader options of career paths after consulting, but for bankers, you'll get specialized paths that are higher paying. Also, people in both industries will pursue entrepreneurial ventures as another potential exit opportunity. You will have the business acumen and management skills that you can apply to your entrepreneurial ideas. Next, let's move to a topic that people really enjoy talking about: compensation. Both investment banking as well as management consulting offer some of the highest career paths that you could have, especially if you're coming out of school. On average, investment bankers will earn more than consultants with an even higher and more variable compensation plan. Generally, as a consultant, you're going to earn 30 to 50% less than your banking counterparts with a lower base as well as lower bonus at most levels. At the highest levels, however, the salary as well as the bonus and the total compensation will start to converge. If you're interested in management consulting salaries in particular, I'll include a link below to a detailed report where you can learn a little bit more about the different compensations, how they're structured, as well as the compensation across different firms. So what's the lifestyle cost of both career paths? Both jobs will require great effort as well as sacrifice to succeed. It won't be a typical job where at 5 p.m. you just shut down your laptop and go home. You're going to be expected to have high quality output for the client and to be growing in every role that you have. And this doesn't come without cost.
And I was tired from working all day.
Nevertheless, there are lifestyle differences between management consulting as well as investment banking. In consulting, if your client wants you to be on site, which is becoming less and less these days, you'll typically be on the client site from Monday to Thursday, which oftentimes requires traveling, while junior investment bankers are always in the office. Junior investment bankers are typically expected to work late nights and to do this quite often. So on average, you might see bankers reporting 80 to 100-hour work weeks, while consultants are expected to spend less time, which is about 60 to 70 hours per week. The actual hours will actually depend on the project or the deal that you're working on, the office you're in, as well as the firm culture. For example, one of my first banking projects, I was working about 50 hours a week for a nonprofit, while my next project had me working 75 hours per week for a private equity client. But in general, for both career paths, you can expect that you aren't going to be going home every day at 5 p.m. and shutting off your laptop. Consultants are not expected to work on weekends, while bankers regularly work on the weekends, especially if there's a live deal. Although many banks have recently introduced protected weekend programs. When I was in consulting, oftentimes when I would have a weekend lunches with a friend who was a banker, they would often leave after lunch to go back to the office while I just had my regular weekend. In conclusion, if you're looking to optimize your career path based on lifestyle, you're choosing the wrong career path either way. You can enter industry as an undergrad, a graduate student such as an MBA or PhD, or as an experienced hire. Consulting firms are looking to hire from a variety of different skills and backgrounds, while investment bankers are more targeted towards looking for people who have quantitative skills and oftentimes come from a business or MBA background. In banking, the recruiting process is structured and starts early. Future analysts start recruiting for internships in their sophomore and junior years, and top grades earned from targeted, highly competitive schools. MBA students are also expected to do an internship to be considered for a full-time role. Internships and full-time recruiting starts a year before the hiring date. In consulting, you can expect the following. Top firms want to see exceptional academic and leadership achievement, as well as work history, such as internships. You don't need to do a consulting internship to be considered for a full-time role. For example, I never did a consulting internship prior to Bain and other firms. There's no specific educational background preferred to be considered. While many hires might have an MBA or a business or economics background, there's no specific educational background that's preferred to be considered. Internships and full-time recruiting start up to 12 months prior to the hiring date. For both industries, landing an interview is very competitive. You'll need to understand what exactly recruiters are looking for when evaluating your application so that you can get your resume and your cover letter to be in the yes pile versus being stuck in the rejection pile. And that begins with understanding what the industry is looking for. And this can start with making sure you have the right work experience as well as network. Acing the investment banking interview will typically require preparation in corporate finance and accounting, as well as a clear story on why you want a career in investment banking. Consulting interviews require preparation for what's called a case interview. That is a condensed version, typically 30 minutes, of a real-life consulting case. This requires practice. In addition, you'll need to prepare stories on leadership as well as teamwork as part of the FIT interview process. If you want to learn more about case interviews or preparing for them, I'll include a link in the description about how you can master the case interview process if you're going through the recruiting process for management consulting. All right, you've made it to the end of the video. Since you're here, I'll be sharing with you the 5 top signs that management consulting might be the right career path for you. You enjoy variety, working on different business problems across different industries and different functions. You want to work closely with clients. You like to work with people from diverse educational and professional backgrounds. You want to pursue graduate studies after a few years of work experience. In fact, many of the firms actually encourage this and will sponsor you to go to get an MBA or a graduate degree. That is, you don't pay anything during your time there with the expectation that you'll come back for a few years. You don't mind a weekly travel schedule if the client demands it. In fact, you think that seeing different airports, hotels, and conference rooms around the world could actually be fun. All right, so there you have it. Now you know exactly how to determine which career path is right for you, especially when it comes to investment banking versus management consulting. Now, if you're 100% serious about wanting to land a job in management consulting, my team and I want to help you get there through a free 30-minute strategy session. All you have to do to book your time is to look at the description below or the pinned comment below and find a time, and my team and I will walk you through how to land your dream consulting offer. My consulting offer has helped over 600 people just like you start a career in management consulting with our proven process. But you don't have to take my word for it. Hear directly from one of our program alums about what it was like to work with our team and land their dream offer.